Would someone like to come online and chant this beautiful verse? Here, there, and everywhere. If you would like to, please just unmute yourself and then we can enjoy your glorious chanting.
Atra tatrascha sarvatra vartate parameshwaraha anyatra chhapi tatsthanam putrasyad nasti chaha.
Beautiful. Who was that? Please, what's your name?
Swarna.
Swarna. Lovely, Swarna. Wasn't that beautiful? Yeah, very impressed, Swarna. Thank you. Okay, so let's do it together. Just mute yourself and we will do it together. And just take note of the pronunciation. So we'll go very slowly because I want to put emphasis on the pronunciation. And when we say atra, tatra, cha sarvatra, the T's, when we say the T's, the tip of your tongue is in front of the teeth. That means, if you can see my video. So it's almost touching the bottom of the front teeth. So, atra, tatra, cha sarvatra. Repeat out loud.
Atra,
Tatra,
cha sarvatra.
Okay. Vartate parameshwaraha.
Vartate Parameshwaraha.
Good. Now you will notice that when we say parameshwara, I extended that E and the A and that little H with a dot. That's not called a H, it's called a visarga. So whenever there's a visarga, again, what is a visarga? A visarga is what looks like an H with a dot underneath, but it's not an H, it's a visarga. So when there is a visarga at the end of a word, then it echoes the preceding vowel. So that AH of parameshwaraha, just focus on the AH. So it's not A or ach, it's aha. So if you say the A and then the visarga echoes the preceding vowel, which is A. So it's aha. Now what happens if you put a U there? What would that sound like?
Yuhu.
No, not yuhu, uhu.
Uhu.
Uhu, good, but close yuhu. Yuhu, right? What if you put E? I'm not going to say I, I'll just E.
Ihi.
So it's ihi. So for example, there's a word called munihi. That's a sage. So it's M-U-N-I visarga. So muni, hi. Or guru hu, because G-U-R-U and then visarga at the end. So guru hu. So it always echoes the preceding vowel. Okay, next. Anyatra chapi. All right. That now careful with the tongue. There is a lots of tongue awareness when it comes to the top of the at the bottom of the front teeth. Stanum. Now that TH, that's called an aspiration. It's not stanum. So if I put my hand in front of the mouth, I say stanum, there's no puff of air. That's wrong. It's a STH, so it's a strong stanum. Okay. Kutra. Okay. Kutra syad. Okay, good. Now we'll shorten that kutra because it was kutra syad. Okay. Yatra nasti saha. Okay. Kutra syad yatra nasti saha.
Kutrasya nasti saha.
Okay, now let's just read this together. We're not going to chant it yet. I'll go slowly and just follow. Atra tatra cha sarvatra vartate parameshwaraha. Anyatra chapi tatsthanam kutra syad yatra nasti saha. All right, very good. Standing ovation. Let me stand up. Yeah, I'll stand up. Standing ovation. Okay, excellent. Okay, well done. So what I would like to do next is I would like to give others an opportunity to please share something about yourself, just so we can get to know each other a little bit. My name is Andre. I've done my introduction last week, and I have studied Sanskrit for, I believe, 3 or 4 years, plus minus. However, it doesn't really matter how long you've studied, because some of us have studied for 20 years, but if you say study, you have to account, what do you mean by study? Is that 30 minutes per day, or is that 1 hour per day, or is that 5 hours per day, etc.? So when I say studied, it involves about, on average, 5 plus minus hours every single day for the last 3 or 4 years. It's still not much. I still don't consider myself an expert, and I'm not proficient. To be considered proficient, I will give myself another 10 to 20 years, because it's a vast language, and I don't think that I can do justice, to the Sanskrit vastness by saying I'm proficient. I'm not, but I do have very detailed knowledge about the Panini grammar, and this knowledge I'm very passionate about. So I would like to just impart this knowledge, how the Sanskrit language works, what makes it the way that it does, what makes it work, how does Sandhi work, how to construct different compounds, and all of these finer details that often in the Sanskrit world, lots of people miss out. And so what I really take note of is not your ability to speak or your ability to understand, but the details. That's what I really care about, because Sanskrit is a detailed language, and there is little room, there's no room for error. It's not like English to free flow and, just sort of use jargon without much carelessness. Sanskrit is not a language of carelessness. It's a language of care. So my style is I'm very strict with the details. So as we go through the course, then we will start to add more and more strictness onto this this language. But at the beginning, I'm not going to be so hard on this on the beginning. Otherwise, everyone's going to be too strict.
Andre, can I ask a question?
Yeah, Veronica.
Yes. What does chapi mean?
Okay, chapi is cha. Cha means and api is also. So if you put these two words together, we have chapi. Now, so both words are called indeclinables. So when we say indeclinables, short for indeclinable is IND. Just think of indeclinables as our favorite words. So if you put down indeclinable equals my favorite word. Why? Because they will never have a declension at the end. So there will always be exactly the same meaning in any text. If you look at in the Brahma Sutra, in the poetry, in the various, even eroticism, there's a lot of eroticism in Sanskrit poetry. All of these texts that will have, if you see cha and api, it's always going to be and also. Whereas other words, with, like, say, nara, for example, man, it's always going to have a declension at the end. So it could be nara yoho, it could be nareshu, it could be narao, right? So all of these declensions we have to learn for these words. Whereas for indeclinables, no declensions. They are as they are. Okay, so we've been asked to print these sheets out because my intention is to speak today. We'll put us into different groups and we'll speak. Okay, pay attention to the pronunciation, please. Namo Namaha. Repeat.
Namo Namaha.
Bhavataha Nama Kim.
Bhavataha
Bhavata Nam.
Bhavatyaha Nama Kim.
Bhavatyaha Nama Kim.
Mama Nama, and then name.
Mama Nama Göknur.
Okay. Bhavataha Kushalam Asti Va.
Bhavataha Kushalam Asti
Bhavatyaha Kushalam Asti Va.
Bhavataha Kushalam Asti
Am.
Am.
Basic word for yes. Indeclinable. Now you know what an indeclinable is, right? It's always going to be am. Mama Kushalam Asti.
Mama Kushalam Asti.
Nahi. Mama
Nahi.
Kushalam Nasti.
Mama Kushalam Nasti.
So two basic words. Am, yes. Nahi, no. Okay. Asti. Asti means is. A very common word. Mama is my. And Kushalam is wellness. So so let's go back to that translation mode that we all speak of. I want to know, if I were to read in the scriptures, Mama Kushalam Asti, and someone translates it to, yes, I'm good. Everything's fine. There's no problems. And then you go, okay, now I want to understand this myself instead of relying on someone else's translations. Now, if that was the case, here's what it would sound like. Yes, of me, wellness exists. You see? So what does the translator do? Yes. Yes, I'm good. No problems. All fine. In other words, what I mean to say is, it's not possible to contaminate the Sanskrit teachings, the Sanskrit translations. Okay. Uttamam. Excellent. Uttamam. Now, careful with the tongue at the top. Uttamam. Okay. Shuddham. Remember, there's an aspiration because there's a DH. Shuddham. So if a person was standing in front of you, you will blow them away if you said shuddham. Okay. And then you see how they put the word a in front of the shuddham? This is a prefix. This negates it, which means it is opposite. In other words, shuddham correct, ashuddham incorrect.
Ashuddham.
Okay. Kripaya. Australian speakers will have some problems sometimes saying the but the rest of us will have no issues with the r. So kripaya. Kripaya. See how the A is extended at the end? Take note of that. Dhanyavadaha. Now in Hindi it will be dhanyavad, right? So so see how a slight difference is. So we take care of the long A's and the visarga at the end. Dhanyavadaha. And then punar milamaha. Again, it's not a p. I will not blow you away with a p. It's a silent punar milamaha.
Punar
So
milamaha.
we're swallowing the p. Punar milamaha.
Punar
Okay, good. Next.
Andre, can I just quickly go back to the thank you word? Danya Vada. So you split it like when you say that one. Is that right?
Repeat.
Danya Vada.
Dha. I'm blowing you away with a dha. Aspiration. Dha. So, okay, syllables. Dhanya, dhanya, dhanya.
Danya
Dhanya vadaha. Dhanya vadaha.
Andre, can I ask a question, please?
Yep.
When you have a visarga at the end, does it change the meaning of the word if you didn't have a visarga?
No, it doesn't change meaning at all. Okay. Tat. These are all this is indeclinable. That's always going to be that. Etat. Remember the tongue at the front.
Andre,
yes.
Sorry, I have a question. Like, there is a ta under that in Sanskrit word. There is a tick type, right? What is the difference between with that one and without that? Like in Sanskrit word ta tha, the second ta has like some extra thing, right? The tail, yeah. What is the difference between with the tail and without the tail? Is there any difference? Because I have observed the same thing with the ma. Some letter have ma and some letter have ma with the tail.
You mean this tail or that?
Yes, this one.
Okay, so when we get to our table, we will learn that table is called virama. See that last virama at the end?
Okay, yeah.
Virama. So that just means it's the end of the letter. Okay, so actually I'll show you. Let's do a drawing here. So tat versus, right? That's your question, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So in Hindi, then you will not put a tail. But in Sanskrit, you would put a tail because if you translate this, it would be ta, ta. Whereas this will be tat. So in other words, this tail cuts out the A.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Does that answer?
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. Moving on. Kim. Okay. Pushpam. That sh, if you say sh, okay, we'll go back here. That's the retroflex. If you say sharanam, say sharanam. Okay. Now, when your tongue is at the end, I want you to just freeze. Sharan. Where's the tongue? Sharan.
Top of the palate.
Yeah, it's like this, right? Yeah. Sharan is facing that way. So that's called a retroflex. So it's not completely up. It's more like an angle of, I would say 70%. Sharanam. So going back here, we say push. I know where that sh, you know where that tongue is now. Pushpam. Pushpam. Right. Now the reason I said this is because it's not like this. Okay. It doesn't have a sh. So that would be like shu, right? That's where the tongue is more forward. But whereas without it, that's when the tongue is 70 degrees up. Pushpam. Okay? Vastram. Palam. Aspiration. Jalam. Dugdham. Okay, dugdham, again, blowing you away. Dugdha, dugdham.
Dugdham.
Now, at the beginning, I'm gonna like overemphasize this blowing away, but you know, at the end, you just polish it down, so it's not gonna be blowing away so much. Parnam. Again, take note of this N dot. Know where the tongue is now. Whenever there's a dot underneath the letter, that means 70%. Parnam. Swallow the P. Parnam. Okay. Pustakam. Swallow the P. Pustakam. Next. Upanetram. Upanetram. Pause. Now, the common mistake is, let me change the color here for more visibility. This TRA, right? This TRA, we often pronounce as ch, upanetram. And this happens in some languages. I also noticed with English speakers, it is not ch, it is upanetra, tra. So there's a difference between tra and tra.
Yeah.
Now, let me just put more emphasis. If I were to exaggerate, tra, T-R-A, tra, tra. I can now polish it down, tra. So, upanetram, upanetram. Good. Next, take note of these long A's. Vatayanam. 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 Again, you can see this. Yeah, this is cutting down. So what happens? Okay, now let's do a little test. See if you listened. What happens if I cut this down? What would now that pronounce like?
Vatayanam.
Yeah, Vatayanama. Okay, so that's completely correct because it's no such word. All right, next is Dura Darshanam. Okay, Dura Darshanam. Okay, good. Okay, any questions about this so far?
About the phalam, and it's a phalam, and but the Sanskrit like is fa. So is it phalam or phalam? Yes, pa.
So this is a P-H-A, p as in pineapple. But, okay. Not f, not f as in frankly, but p. Pa. So just like P-A, pa, as in pa, but now there's an aspiration, pa. Therefore, palam.
But I think I'm not quite familiar with Hindi also, but in Hindi itself it's phalam with the word.
I understand, yes. So there is a difference between Hindi and Sanskrit. Yeah, that's why we have to now reverse our teachings. So when I'm learning Hindi, then I also have to now, switch between the two.
Andre, I have a question, please.
Yes.
Thanks.
Dura Darshanam. Now, does that R have a inborn Ra thing there? So is it a Dura or Dur Darshanam?
Dura Darshanam.
This will be a oops, not this one. Dura Darshanam. So you want this one. So that's Dura Darshanam.
Okay. So is the R sound, is the alphabet for that R not there, or is it just that whenever you have R, it has to be a long R?
It's not a long R, it's a short R. It's a long U, du, and then ra.
Okay, okay.
So just this alone, right? So the beauty about Sanskrit is it will never, you always pronounce it as it says on the page. As the script says, that's how we pronounce it. So if it says dura, we say ra. Dar, sha, na, m. Okay, so dura, dar, sha, na, m.
Okay.
So this is why I was bringing stress onto this chart, because all we have to do is remember the pronunciation. For example, ka, ga, ga, na, cha, cha, ja, ja, na. And then if you go back into the writings, then you have no problems pronouncing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Atra. Okay, I'll now pick up the space. Atra. Tatra. Kutra. Asti. Nasti. Mama. Bhavatyaha. Bhavataha. Mam prachatu. Tam prachatu. Tam prachatu. Okay, again, one difference, big meaning. Tam and tam. Ask her and ask him. Okay, moving on. Now, let's go into some combo exercises. We can say bhavataha and then astiwa. So it says, do you? Bhavataha is masculine. Bhavataha astiwa, do you have? So now we can say bhavataha, and then we can fill in with one of these words here, right? Which I'm not, which we hopefully have a print out. We can say bhavataha phalam astiwa. So sir, do you have a fruit? Good. And then we can say, if we're talking to a female, we can say bhavatyaha parnam astiwa. Madam, do you have a leaf? Right. And then the madam would say mama parnam asti. Right. So of me leaf exists. Again, translating it properly, yes, I do have a leaf. Okay. Nahi. Mama parnam nasti. No, I don't have a leaf. Of me, leaf, there is no existence of leaf. Bhavataha, and then we can now say bhavataha phalam kutra asti. Okay, so sir, fruit where is? Sir, where is the fruit? Repeat. Bhavataha phalam kutra asti. So this means, okay, bhavataha, sir, phalam fruit, kutra question, where asti is. Okay, so you can, what can we notice so far? We can notice the order is different than in English. We don't say bhavataha, how will you say in English? Sir, where is? We would say bhavataha kutra asti phalam, right?
Phalam, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But here we put the verb. The verb will always go at the end. The magical formula, which I cannot overemphasize. So if you want to understand Sanskrit translations, do note the verb is at the end.
I have a question on that.
Yes.
Andre, if I can.
Yes.
So it says Bhavataha kutra asti. Where is your? Where are we saving your? Bhavataha is sir. Bhavataha phalam kutra asti. Sir, where is fruit? Where are we saying your fruit?
Yeah, good. Okay, so let's bring color here. So bhavataha is of sir, right? That means it's sirs. So when you put an apostrophe, this is called a genitive. So sirs, where fruit is. Sirs, where fruit is. In other words, we fill in the your. It's a filler, because to say, sir, where fruit, sir, where fruit exists, or sir, where fruit is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No. So we fill in because we're talking to sir. So it means your. Sir, where is your fruit? Right?
So if I say Bhavataha mama phalam kutra asti, would that be right?
Bhavataha mama.
Phalam kutra asti. Where is my fruit?
Then you would say, okay, you would say, mama phalam kutra asti.
Kutra asti.
Yeah, so
Bhavata.
you would say, where is my fruit? Mama phalam kutra asti. Okay, where is my fruit? But you will not say bhavataha in that case. Okay.
So it's okay.
Andre?
Yeah.
But if you want to say
that,
sir, how do you say that?
Bhavataha, is that that's not the genitive form. Is that the genitive form?
That is bhavataha.
It's masculine.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a genitive of sir.
Oh, okay. And it's also just sir.
No, officer. Officer.
But when you, all right, so it's officer.
Mhm.
But then when you address a man, you say bhavataha. You use the same word, right?
Yeah, bhavataha sir. So sir or officer, you can still say the same. So that means bhavataha sir. But in this case, we'll do a filler. We say officer, sir, where fruit is, or officer, where fruit is. Now these paradigms we will get into in the later sessions where we will explain these words clearly. Okay, so now we have many questions about this bhavataha, bhavatyaha. Wait for the later sessions and I will show us the paradigms. Why is it bhavataha and bhavatyaha? Okay, so for now, all I want you to do is assume. Okay, for now, assumption is okay. Otherwise, we're not going to get into the details for now. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Mama, and then we will say atra asti. So my, let's say, dura darshanam, mama dura darshanam atra asti. So of me,
TV.
Of me, television
is here.
Is here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you say, okay, where's the of me? Well, it directly says of me, but it's my. Okay, next. Mama dura darshanam tatra asti.
Mama
Okay, so my television is there. Mama,
Andre,
yes.
Sorry. So obviously, television didn't exist when Sanskrit evolved. So is that a new word that got added later?
Yeah, so in Sanskrit, what we don't do is we don't add new words. It's very rare. Now, because this is spoken Sanskrit, just to some relatable words,
okay,
we created a new word, which is dura.
Darshan.
All right, dura and darshanam. So dura, far, darshanam, vision, far vision.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe
Andre?
yes.
Hello, Andre.
Yes.
Dura Darshanam is far vision. That's the translation in Tamil language. And I don't think it meant television during Sanskrit time. I think it meant a vision, far vision.
Yeah.
So, but we are translating it into television for this era.
Yeah. So again, this is spoken Sanskrit. Now, if if we go into technical, then we will say something has far vision. That means there is far vision of, there is, I can see ahead. For example, Rishi has dura darshanam. Rishi has far vision. Yeah. But in this case, just television. Okay, where are we? Here we are. And then mama, let's say dugdham anyatra asti.
Mama dugdham anyatra asti.
So translate.
My milk is elsewhere.
Yeah, so my milk is anyatra, it's elsewhere. Okay, and then mama, what else have we done?
Pustakam.
Okay, let's do the pustakam. Mama pustakam atra nasti.
My book is not here.
Pustakam atra nasti. Remember to swallow the p for the pustakam. Mama pustakam atra nasti. Okay. Now we have gone through a revision, and I see we've got 5 more minutes. However, likely I said 11:30, didn't I? Yes, I did. So we have time. Let's go into, now what I want to do is bring us last week, which we said this hobbies. So we can say to someone, I can say to Yamuna, for example, because I see her in front of the screen, I can say, what is not enjoyed by you? So Kim is what? Twaya, right? Twaya, by you, which we will get to later, which is called an instrumentive. Don't worry about it now. So Kim Twaya, so what by you, Ramyate, is enjoyed? What is enjoyed by you? Okay. We can also put a na. Right? So I can say what is not enjoyed by you. So I can say to Yamuna, Kim Twaya na ramyate. And then Yamuna can say etat means what?
This.
So etat pustakam maya ramyate. So again, I'm going to say slowly. Etat pustakam maya ramyate. So etat pustakam is
enjoyed by me.
this book. Etat pustakam. Etat palam. Etat pushpam. Etat dugdham. Okay, so this, etc. Maya, by me, ramyate, is enjoyed. Okay, so again, let's have a sample conversation. Let's have a conversation with Dave. Okay, unmute yourself, Dave. I'm going to say to Dave,
yep.
I'm going to say bhavataha, or you can even, just for simplicity, we'll just say Kim Twaya ramyate. So Dave, what did I say? Kim Twaya ramyate.
What is enjoyed by you?
Kim Twaya, Kim means what?
What is enjoyed by you?
Yeah. Twaya, by you, ramyate is enjoyed. So what is Kim Twaya ramyate?
What is enjoyed by you?
Yeah, Kim.
What is
What? Twaya. By you. Ramyate is enjoyed. Okay. Now.
Maya ramate. Ramyate.
Okay. So I said to Dave, Kim Twaya ramyate. And now Dave's going to respond. Please respond, Dave, with this line.
Pushpam Maya ramyate.
Okay, what did Dave say?
Flower
is enjoyed by me.
Yeah.
Flowers.
Flower is enjoyed by me. And then bhavatu, which we will learn later. This is called an imperative. Don't worry about it now. This is lesson 20 something. So be it. Directly it means so be it. Now, now it actually in conversation just means okay, fine.
Okay.
In other words, so be it. And then I can say to, now let's change the person. I'll speak to Veronica now. I will say to her, Mam Prichatu. Now, Mam Prichatu, we already discussed. Mam
Prichatu.
Yeah, so I said to Veronica, Mam Prichatu, ask me. So now Veronica is going to start with this question over here. And she's going to say,
Kim
Toya na ramyate.
Yeah, so she said to me, what is not enjoyed by me? And then I would say, I would say something like jalam, which I don't know how it's possible. Jalam maya ramyate. Water is not enjoyed by me.
Na ramyate.
Okay,
Na
and then Veronica is going to say na ramyate, and then Veronica is going to say
bhavatu.
Bhavatu. Okay. So this is the demo of what we're going to do. So first one person asks, and then the other person responds. Right, and then they reverse, you do a role reverse, you do mam prichatu, and then you also ask. Okay. Yeah. But before we do that, we're going to go into first intro. So you're going to say to another person, greetings. So you're going to say namo namaha.
Namo namaha.
And then you just say bhavataha or bhavatyaha nama kim. The other person is going to respond, mama, nama, etc. And then we will say, bhavataha kushalamasti wa. Are you well?
Yes.
And then am or nahi, mama kushalam nasti or mama kushalamasti. Okay. And then we're going to say, do you have? So we will say, bhavatyaha, and we'll go back to dura darshanam. Bhavatyaha dura darshanam kutra asti.
Kutra.
No,
asti. Do you have asti?
So we will.
Astiva.
So I was going to get back to that. So we're going to say bhavatyaha asti va. So, madam, do you have? Right? Do you have something? So bhavatyaha dura darshanam asti va.
Okay.
And then they're going to respond. And then you're going to say where. Bhavatyaha dura darshanam kutra asti. Okay. And then they're going to say, Mama Doordarshanam Atra. So my television is here. Okay. So in other words, summary, introduction, name, health, do you have, and then where is. Okay, you can interchange the order, and then hobbies. Okay, so it's 3 sections to do. All right, so I'm going to put us into, let's see how to put us into groups here. How to do this now? Okay. Does anyone know how to put people in groups?
I
think there's a breakout room picture or something like that.
Yeah, breakout room. More, putting, waiting, allow, record.
Where? Question.
Just look at those words while I search for this. Share, no. Okay, I cannot say it. I will search for it later when the session ends. We will now just go, it's okay, we'll do it publicly and then we can all participate. So let's put, okay. So let's start with, I'm going to stop the sharing here. Okay, let's go between Renate and Yamuna. Okay, so actually I'll do this. Who wants to start? I want to see who's confident.
I'll just start with the first one. I can try. Renate.
Okay, Renate. And who else wants to start?
I can try.
Okay, I don't want to put pressure on you. Okay, so let's do Renate and Yamuna.
Yeah. Namo namaha.
Namo namaha.
Mama nama Yamuna.
Bhavata
Bhavatyaha.
Bhavatyaha kushalam asti
Va.
va.
Mama kusalam asti. Bhavatyaha kusalam asti va?
Mama kushalam asti.
Okay. Now we're gonna go, do you have? We can go on to the next page.
Next page.
Let's go on to page 4. Say Bhavatyaha, and then, for example, Jalam asti va, or something like that.
Bhavatyaha.
And then a word. For the rest of us, don't just listen. Imagine you're having this conversation.
Bhavatyaha phalam asti. I don't have all my pages.
Yeah, Bhavatyaha phalam asti va. Madam, do you have a flower? And then Yamuna responds with?
Mama palam atra asti.
No, Yamuna will say yes or no. So
Mama palam asti.
Yeah, good. So Yamuna said mama palam asti. Yeah, okay. And then
you can add two. Yes.
And then Renati can say where is your fruit?
Bhavatyaha.
Yeah, so Bhavatyaha, yeah.
Bhavatyaha phalam kutra asti.
No, va. Kutra va.
Bhavatyaha kutra asti. Yeah, so
Mama palam atra asti.
Good. Yeah. So Yamuna said,
my fruit is here.
Is here. Good.
Yeah. Andre, wouldn't where is be kutra va?
Kutra va. Do we say kutra va?
So where is, would it be kutra va or kutra asti?
Kutra asti.
So where would we say kutra va then?
Kutra va, you don't say kutra va because kutra is where and va is a question.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't say two questions at once.
No, in the question.
Yeah, okay, in the question.
Okay, so you wouldn't say phalam kutra va?
No, you would not say because, no. You only say va, where is. So in the is question, that's where the va goes.
Sure, good.
When the where is that, then you say kutra.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I wish I found this breakout room. It would be really nice. Advanced sharing. Share. I want to just look up online quickly. Zoom.
Andrew, I just pinged you the link. Thanks.
Yeah, give me a link.
Yeah, I pinged you before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see what she's asking. Do you
count? I probably have to enable it, but
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we will reserve this next time, luckily, so we have some chance. But let's give a hand to Renate and Yamuna. They're the brave too, right? Well done. Okay, sorry, I'll find this out, and next time we will have this breakout because everyone needs to get a conversation. Let's move on. Okay. Let's go into grammar. Teaching, okay. Okay, so get your books out. Lesson 1. All right. Prachasi cha gachati cha. Translates someone.
You go and
You ask and
One person at a time, please.
you ask and he goes.
Yeah. So whoever said that, well done. So prachasi, you ask. Gachati, he goes. So you ask and he goes. H. Prachati cha gachami cha.
I'm asking and I'm going.
Okay.
He asks, I go.
I am asking and he is going. Is that what you said?
I am going.
Yeah, I am going. Okay. So prachati, so he asks and I go. Yeah. Now you can also say that ing. I am asking and he is going. However, I'm going and he asks. Now, do not put the ing yet because we will learn about this ing, this sort of active later on. So for now, it's just prachati, he asks, gachami, I go. Okay? D, gachasi prachami cha.
You go.
And I ask.
You go and I ask.
Okay.
You go. I ask.
Participants.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So I ask and he goes.
Okay. E prachati prachami cha.
Prachati, he asks.
He asks.
He asks.
And I ask.
Yeah, he asks and I ask. Okay. How about 6? D. D for dog. He goes and asks.
Prachati. No. Gachati. Prachati cha.
Yeah. So gachati.
Gachati.
Prachati cha. Okay. Let's do Swarna. F. I ask and you go.
Prachami gachasi cha.
Good. Okay, and let's do more names. Catrick. Just pronounce your name again. I want to make sure it's correct. Kartik.
Yes, I'm here. Which one?
Pronounce your name. I just want to get it right.
Kartik.
Kartik. Okay. H for the last one. He goes and you go.
Prachati cha gachami cha.
Okay, so he goes and you go. So okay, how do you say you go?
Gachami cha.
Okay, C. Remember the last one, the C. C means you. So gacha. Which one? C. Gacha C. Which means
the previous.
Yeah, gacha C. So you go, and he goes. Kartik.
Yes.
How do you say he goes, Kartik?
He goes.
Gacha.
Gachati.
Yeah. So now, how do you say he goes and you go?
I'm sorry. I'm totally lost.
No problem.
First class. So
yeah, no problem. So go is gacha.
Okay.
Gacha. Now we learned the declensions. I go gachami. Repeat.
I go gachami.
You go gachasi.
You go gachasi. Okay.
He, she, or it goes gachati.
Gachati. Okay.
Okay, so he goes, which one?
Gachati.
Gachati. And you go? What's you go?
Gachami.
Gacha?
C.
Gacha C. And what's the word and, A and D in Sanskrit?
Cha.
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 So now how do you combine these combinations together? He goes.
Gachasi.
He
cha.
goes.
Gachami.
Gacha. Ti.
Gachami.
Gachati.
Gachati.
Yeah, good. Now these this is actually not that hard because we learned these endings in lesson 1, as you can see here. Gachati, third person. That means third person means someone else. Second person means someone that's in front of me. That means you. And first person, ami, which means myself. So gachami, everyone. Gachami. What's gachami?
Gachami. Gachami.
Okay. What's gachasi?
Gachami. You go.
You go.
Gachati.
He goes.
Good. So he, she, or it goes. Okay. So see, remember the first. This is the very first lesson. Is we learned the word gacha, right? Go, and then we learned gachati. So all we're doing is we're adding an ending at the end. Okay. So we're leaving the stem. This is the pure word, as pure as you can get. The gacha. It just means go. But okay, what's going? He goes, then you add what?
T.
Who's going? I'm going. So then we say Chami. Who's going? You're going. Then we say
Chami.
Right. Gachasi. Good. Okay. And then we also use now same concept. Prcha, right? Pure word. Prcha just means ask. Prcha. Repeat. Prcha. Yeah. And again, if we add the ending T, which means prcha.
He goes, she goes.
Yeah. What about prchami?
I go.
I ask.
Good. And prchasi?
You ask.
And what if I say pustakam prchasi?
You ask.
You ask book you ask.
Okay, what if I say nara, which means man? Naram gachasi.
Man goes.
Yeah, so you go to whom? Naram.
Gachasi.
To man.
You go to man.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, now, and then we learn how to put two words together. So what if we say prcha again, pure word, gacha. Okay, just ignore that long A for now. Pure word. So prcha gacha, which means what? Ask, go. Now, if we put T and then ami, which means what?
He, she, and I.
He asks, I go.
Yeah. And where's that and? Right here. Yeah. Now, you will see how there's two ands there, right? So you say, what's the difference? Why don't you say prchati gachami cha? Or why don't you say prchati cha gachami cha?
I go.
The answer is ignore this cha. Okay, so in later Sanskrit, you just put one cha. After the whole list of things, you just put cha at the end. Problem solved. Okay. Instead of prachati, cha, gachami, cha, and then all the other words that we'll learn. Okay, and that's why I was bringing us to these little here. So let's do one more. Let's do B. Okay. Someone translate. Gachami, prachami, cha.
I go.
I ask.
Excellent. I can see the understanding is now coherent. How about you ask?
And I ask.
Yeah. Now, how about I go and you go?
You.
Good. Excellent. Good. Now we then moved on to let's Okay, and then we moved on to now still we have that pure word, right? All of these are just gotcha, go, 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 right? And then instead of adding army, city, we now went into jewel. So we will say we two go. Remember, army means just I go. But how do you say we two go? Then we say gachawaha, right? Gachawaha. So what if I say pustakam gachawaha?
I go to the book. We too go to the book.
We too go to the book.
Yeah, you don't have to say we too, but it's just an assumption. So there's two people. So we go to the book. But in actuality, it means we too go to the book. Okay. And then how do you say, what if I say, now we're on to this one. You two go to the book. Okay, so this is gacha taha. Gacha taha. Gacha taha. Okay, aspiration there. Taha.
Gacha taha.
What about dugdham gacha taha?
Milk.
You two go to the milk. You two go to the milk.
What about dugdham gachawaha?
We go to the
milk.
Okay, and then obviously we too, but we don't, you have to say we too. And then what if you want to speak to third person? That means over there, and you will say you. That means, in other words, those two go to the book. Now first, now the question was you two go to the book, and someone said gachataha pustakam. No, incorrect. Why? Because we said the verb always goes at the end. So pustakam and then phalam gachataha.
You go to the fruit.
Yeah, you too. Now, what about jalam gachataha?
What? The water.
You go to the
water.
Yeah, I'm glad that you realized, that you noticed how, that you. So if I said, you see how the difference, gachataha and gachataha?
Yep.
Please say that. These two. Gachataha. Okay. So this is where the aspiration really counts, because I want those two to go to the book and not you two. So I have to say, for those two, I have to say pustakam gachataha. Yeah. And you two? Someone say you two go to the book? Yeah. But this is always second person equals you're blowing them away in summary. Okay. Now, if you want to say a question, now of course we have already done gacha, go, and we know T is he, she, or it. So now where is he, she, or it going? Okay. How do we know that? Because we put a question before the verb. I already said the verb always goes last. So kutra, gacha, ti would be
where is he going?
Where is he going? Okay, what if I say, listen, kutra gachawaha?
Where are we going?
Where are we going?
Good.
Where are we going?
Andre, can I ask you a question? Sorry.
Yes.
Just to make life easier, can't we say kutraha saha gachati? The moment we put saha, make it clear that it is he.
Good. Okay, saha, we're gonna learn. Okay, did you hear the question? So what? Who said that? Was it?
This is Manish.
Manish. So what Manish wanted to say is, why don't you just put a pronoun and just make it super obvious that we're talking about he, right? The pronouns we will learn later in lesson. In a future lesson, okay? But Manish, I sure was a good one, because I always had the same question myself. Why don't you just put a saha and just make it so obvious that it's talking about he, right? So we will do this later. So for now, we're not making life easier. Okay. Now, next word is kutra. So we know kutra is where, and then now pure word bhava, is, right? Or / asti. Okay. Now, what's the difference between bhava and asti? Okay, so bhava has a sense of becoming. That means I am becoming. However, we will learn just the difference between these two later. You will see in examples. Asti is more of a is, but becoming has both becoming and is. Okay. So becoming and is equals bhavati.
Bhavati.
Whereas asti is just is. All right. And we will learn these examples later. I don't want to give us too many details now. Okay. So bhavati is he, she. It is. What if I say bhavataha?
You too.
Yeah, you two what?
Are.
You two are. Excellent. Bhavataha. What about bhawavaha?
We too are.
We are.
We are.
Correct. Shuddham. What about bhavasi?
You are.
You
are.
Bhavami.
I am.
I am.
Bhavataha.
We are.
They are.
They are.
Good. You're hammering it. Bhavataha. What about bhavataha?
You too
are.
Good. Bhavavaha.
We are.
Prichati.
Reading, asking.
Ask.
Prichami.
I ask.
I ask.
Prichavaha.
We too ask.
Gachasi.
I'm going.
You go.
You go. Yeah.
Gachati.
He goes.
He goes.
She goes.
Prichavaha. Prichati. Cha.
We ask. We ask and he asks.
And he asks.
Okay, good. Gachami. Prichami. Cha.
I am
I
going.
go and I ask.
I go and I go.
Okay. Now the next word is we have, let's clear this mess. Okay. Is this wasa, again, pure word. See the ending, we just put an ending at the end. So was means to live. Wasa, live. And then ti, he, she, or it lives. So wasami means
I live.
I live.
Okay. How about wasawaha?
We live.
We live.
Okay. And then again, we have now smara is to remember. And then at the end, smarati.
He remembers.
He or
She or it.
Or it. Okay, so you can refer to a feminine. So if I'm pointing to a female, I would say, both a male and a female will say smarati, but it still needs to, because later on, we will have to make a distinction between feminine and masculine in terms of declensions. So this declension at the end will change based on whether we're pointing to a female or a male. That's why I'm putting stress on this. So, wasati smarati cha.
Lives.
He lives and he remembers.
Okay. Gachami, prachami, smarati cha.
I go
and I ask. He remembers.
And he remembers.
Okay. Smarami. Okay. Smarati. Prachati. Gachati cha.
You remember?
He remembers.
I
remember.
He remember and he remembers.
Okay. Prachami, gachami, wasami, smarami cha.
Oh my.
I go,
I
remember.
ask, I go, I live, and I remember.
I remember.
Okay, so the point is, so don't, we can just keep on extending, but the point is, the more we remember these words, the more we can just quickly recognize what the meanings are. So if we're not, responding immediately, it doesn't matter. I personally am a very slow learner. And so if you find yourself not catching on, then, just look at me. I take a long time to remember anything, but we have to keep trying. So this is the idea of repetition. Okay. And okay, so next week we will continue into exercises. I guess I'm just going to put here next week. We're also going to do convo next week. I'm going to figure out how to put into groups. Next week, we will also do alphabet, pronunciation. We will also do grammar. This is, we will go to lesson 3, grammar. Okay. We will go to vocabulary. We will learn new vocabulary in lesson 3 of the book, vocab. And from next week, I'm going to ask us who wants to stay after class to practice Devanagari. And then just so I'm letting you know. So if you need extra practice, I will just guide us. I'll say, you see on the screen me drawing little characters and you can just follow along. So that's what's going to happen next week. So for now, I want to thank everyone for the successful session 2 on Zoom. And, Bye-bye.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Punarmilamaha.
Punarmilamaha.
Andre,
yes.
The last time which the exercise you told me, I had few doubts about it. Is it okay to ask now or later?
Yeah, ask now.
So chapter 3, the way I was doing it was slightly different. I don't know whether I was doing it right. It says, where are they going? The one which the homework you said to us in the email.
What page? Lesson 3.
I think it was chapter 3. Yeah, that's the one. Question 6 at the bottom.
Where are they going?
So the way I wrote it was Kutra te gachanti. Is that the right way to go about it?
No, just Kutra gachanti.
Okay. So that sa taute, ignore it for the time being.
Yeah, for the time being, yeah. So the idea is I want us to stick with the curriculum. Otherwise, we're going to go out of, and I'm not going to be able to follow you, right? Sure. So we need to be very strict with the exact, I know I'm limiting the language, but then again, that's how it moves on, right?
So
it builds up.
So same applies to the bottom one where it says, I ask and they remember. So you want me to just write Pachami cha smranti.
You can say Gachami. And put the cha at the end. So you can say Gachami smaranti cha.
Gachami. Okay. So what I did was Prachami cha smaranti. Is that wrong?
Prachami? Oh, it says I ask. Okay.
I ask. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So Prachami. Say again.
Aham prachami cha te smaranti.
Ah, okay. I know. This is. I also want to feel like doing this, putting a hum in front. No, you don't need to put the aham in front. It's unnecessary. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. No,
later on, you can add a hum, but the hum. Okay, for those the rest of us, a hum just means I. Okay, that's an indeclinable. A hum I.
We ignore that for the time. We just focus.
Ignore, yeah, because we're not onto pronouns yet. Pronouns like you and I and so on. That's later.
All good. All good. Yeah, that was my doubt. Yeah, because I was
good.
On it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Hey, Andre, just
Andre.
Katrik, yes.
Go ahead.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna ask. The sheets that you had earlier. Not this document. The one.
Spoken Sanskrit.
Yes. How can I get this?
I sent an email with a download link. Did you get my email?
No,
We'll send it to you, Yamuna. We'll
Yeah.
send it to you.
Yeah.
We'll pass it on to you.
Yeah. So yes, Vedanta /Sanskrit.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the bottom, the last video, click on lesson 3, and there will be a link to spoken Sanskrit.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, one more question. Yeah.
So I was just wondering, the website links with resources you have, are they going to stay there forever, or should we keep our private copies?
Yeah, they'll stay there forever.
Okay. Okay.
Quote forever. Yeah.
Hey, Andre, just a quick question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So this is my first class, so I missed the previous classes. Is that I can get the recording of those somewhere?
Yes. Yes. Sure. Again. So yes, Vedanta /Sanskrit, and the first 2 videos, lesson 1 and 2, right? Watch them. Not the long video. Just watch. It's called For the Busy. It's about 20 minutes each of them.
Ooh.
So it summarizes the long 2 hours that we've done in class.
Okay.
So summary, yesvedanta.com /Sanskrit, lesson 1 and 2, just watch the short videos.
All right. Okay. And the links, what we just discussed, has been there, right?
Today will also
the material.
The material will also be on /Sanskrit.
All right. Thanks, Andre.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
One question, Andre.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering the pronunciation.
Okay.
Could you recommend maybe a video where it just reads the Devanagari?
Yeah, so that's why I said I want to do a class afterwards whereby we go to the script but also through the pronunciation.
Okay.
Yeah, and this will start from next week. So for those of us who want to stay with a pen and paper, that's where I will be available for an extra 30 minutes.
Okay, so you don't recommend any YouTube video to watch?
For pronunciation.
Pronunciation. Like, for example, all the different S's, the S with the dot underneath, like it's a sh, for example.
Yeah, well, the point is we will do this in class.
Yeah, I feel like maybe because I'm a bit behind, I think maybe everyone else already can pronunciate.
No. We are lesson 3 is still baby. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is still child's play. No one's behind. You're not behind until lesson 5.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Okay, so just to reconfirm. So your question was having some trouble with pronunciation, and my reply to that is we will put stress on pronunciation in class.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm not going to start recommending other videos because then your mind's going to go out. So everything's supposed to be in class here.
Because I'm reading the textbook and it has like the letter and then it has like maybe an English word next to it to help me pronunciate. Is that the best thing to do, just to read it?
Yes, that's a good one.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay.
Andre, I was just wondering where the Sanskrit Dictionary that you recommended is.
Okay, so the Sanskrit Dictionary, I'm going to load up the, it's not going to work now. I'm going to stop broadcast here. And I'll start the broadcast from the computer. Okay, so the question was, what about the dictionary? And the dictionary will be our favorite friend because the words will come from there. So let's go screen sharing, share. Okay. So what we're seeing, can you see? Are we seeing the dictionary?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so so this is, I put the link in lesson 3, all right? So let's say gotcha. Oh, it's just I said last week, nara. So you just type in the word and then you will get a pop-up, and this is the beauty. So we don't have to know the exact what we're looking for. You can also do it in your local language. For example, Devanagari. Can say nara, right? Same thing. And then you get, all of your words. Now the dictionary, I was planning to do later because I need to explain a few things. However, for now, I will tell you that the most easiest, because you have different dictionaries. You have Monier-Williams, which is the standard dictionary in India, which is used. It's one of the most comprehensive. For now, at the beginning, I recommend either Wilson or Kepler, okay? Especially Kepler, because it's just going to give you a very short summary, man, right? Because if you look at this, it's like, which one is it, right? Where if you just look at this, goes, okay, here it is, man, husband. That's all I need to know.
But where is the link? I don't have a link to the dictionary.
Yeah, lesson 3, Sanskrit / Sanskrit.
Oh, okay.
And then scroll down, lesson 3 recording, which we have done last week.
Oh,
and then,
lesson 3 recording. Okay.
Yeah, and then you will see the link to this. Okay. Now, another question is, okay, well, what if I don't know how to spell a word? Because a dictionary requires you to know the spelling, right? So if I suppose I want to type in, let's just go knowledge, jnana, right? Is this the spelling of jnana?
No.
No. How do I know? Because nothing's coming up. But if I type in hold on, just launch this. But if I type in jnana, you see with the diacritics, how it comes up. Now, how do you know the spelling? So this is where I have another link. And if I just type in my incorrect spelling here, jnana, and I put translate, then you see how the spelling comes up, right? So now you know how to type. If you don't like, you can put also Devanagari, right? So these 2 links, spokensanskrit.org and andrabharati.com, these are the 2 resources that I use for any kind of Sanskrit work, okay? So this is answering the question in regards to dictionary use. Okay, anything else? Okay, stop sharing here. All right, thank you everyone. We will catch up next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dhanyawadaha.
Dhanyawadaha. Punarmilama.